On today's show, we have a 2-for-1 special. It's so freaking exciting. Okay, so the beautiful and savvy business women behind the brand Lookbooker are here, Giorgia, Rossi, and Renee, Robbie. Lookbooker connects both consumers and salons together, but we'll touch a little bit more about that in a few moments. And then after that, we'll have the amazing and exquisite, super talented Lisa Kim of Lisa Kim Fine Jewelry. Lisa will talk to us about her amazing collection. She will be bringing in her pieces, and we'll kind of be showcasing that for you guys on Periscope. Hi, Periscope people. Okay, and so Lisa will showcase her jewelry, and for those of you who are only on Blog Talk Radio, we'll be sure to upload the entire video on YouTube so you can catch it there, on our website, the usual rigmarole. And I'm sorry I'm talking so fast, but we have a filled show, so I'm trying to get to all of it very quickly. Okay, so I went through all that already. Oh, okay, so I have to introduce Kaylin. How could I forget? Hi, Kaylin! So Kaylin is my trusty co-host, sidekick that, does everything for and with me. It's so great to have her. And she'll be kind of like, chatting up the show and the events that's happening here with me, and just, filling you in on all the news, the fashion, and all the stuff that we'll be talking about today. So, Kaylin?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Before we start with the Lookbooker, just remember this is our last week for the free 1-hour special with the 4+ hour rental purchase, because July is almost over.
I know! Oh my God!
So one more day.
Yeah, one more day.
Don't want to get this deal, you can email us at hiddengem@yclad.com, and remember YCLAD is spelled Y-CLAD, or you can call us at 212-644-6445 for more details on the special. And just a recap of last week, if you missed it, you should re-listen to it if you didn't miss it. And we had Alex Mayo, and we talked about event technology. We had a little bit of technological issues, but of course, when we're talking about technology.
It was totally fitting.
Yes. But he gave us a ton of information about, the importance of AV and acoustic quality for any size event.
Yeah. And
gave us advice on how to ensure great sound quality and different types of visual content for events. So if you missed that, you can listen to it on Blog Talk Radio, or there's a full recap on YCLAD'shiddengem.com. And then also we've opened our lines for questions, so feel free to call in at 516-453-9170. And after the prompt, dial 1 to let us know you have a question. And also on Periscope, you can comment. Just so all you Periscope people know.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's so cool. So if you have questions,
yeah, you can write them right there.
Yeah, we'll try to read them. You're a little far.
Yes.
It's okay. We'll make sure that we get all that in. And so we're gonna just jump right into the show. So hi, ladies.
Hi.
Okay, so we have Giorgia, Rossi, Renee, Robbie, and so these are the ladies behind Lookbooker. So I'm excited. Can you tell? I'm rambling. So I'm excited. So thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. So let's start with, tell us a little bit about yourselves, and while you're doing that, give us like one favorite thing that you like to do, and then something, and then a little bit about your professional backgrounds, and we'll start with you, Giorgia.
Sure. So my name is Giorgia. I'm one of the founders of Lookbooker. Lookbooker is an online platform where people can go and search for, compare, and instantly confirm their salon appointments for men and women, which kind of feeds into one of the things that I like to do, which is secret shop our salon partners. So I look quite young, and sometimes I can get away with attending one of our spas or salons and pretending I'm an NYU student. And I will go in and I will literally road test.
Wait, when you do that next time, let me know.
You can have secret shopping with me. It's awesome. And so I'll go and get a manicure or a blowout and kind of, enjoy the Lookbooker service without having to, think about the issues or opportunities or challenges, and just go and be a Lookbooker customer for a day.
Cool. Okay, and so Renee?
Yeah, so a little bit about myself and Giorgia. I'll do a shared intro to you, so you might be able to tell from our accents to those listening that we are from Australia originally. And before we started Lookbooker, we were working together, and I know we're going to talk about how we met, but we were working together as consultants, and then became kind of obsessed with this idea about connecting users looking for hair and beauty appointments with salons who are looking for users and new consumers. And so one of the things that I like to do, I'm going to take it outside of Lookbooker, which is a rare thing for me to do, but I'm a recent convert to Pilates. My sister and I are former Pilates fans. and that's one of the new hobbies. Giorgia and I are now, a little bit of time into the business, trying to force ourselves to do a few things outside of the business. And this is one of the few things that happens in a week is a Pilates
But sometimes
class.
we do it together. We'll go to Mat Pilates together and we'll be doing our hundreds. And we'll be like, so what do you think of this?
Okay, so a little bit of fun while you
Mixing work and
incorporate,
play.
right?
We're multitaskers.
Nothing wrong with that.
We're women. We're multitaskers.
So you guys, like, just in sitting with you, you finish her sentence and then you finish her sentence. So, so tell us a little bit about your personalities and what, how you guys mesh. Like, how did you develop that connection that you clearly have?
Renee's going to kick
You're
us
up.
off. I'll do that. So Renee and I met doing the same job, which is interesting for people who work with us today because we have such different complementary styles of working and of living, although we spend every single minute of the day together. So we have literally learnt to finish each other's sentences out of necessity because of the amount of time that we spend together.
Right.
The way I would describe Renee is hardworking. She's very, very thoughtful. She is really fun, and she has a wicked sense of humour.
Thanks.
You do.
Thanks.
Tell us a joke.
Not on the spot. Impromptu. Would you like me to give the blurb on Giorgia?
Why not?
Giorgia's personality. Giorgia is a big picture, big thinker, energetic persona and personality.
Yeah.
She takes up a lot of room in the room, and she's likewise a lot of fun to be around. And we've really grown together. I think when you ask like how have our personalities meshed together, I think about who we were when we started a business, and then having a business. Neither of us have children, and we kind of joke that it's like having a child, or
A really needy child.
Your firstborn.
Our firstborn.
Our firstborn business. But I think that our personalities have really grown together as we have taken on this really ambitious task and spent so much time together. So.
Yeah.
And so you guys were working together. How did this whole Lookbooker thing come about when you're just in the office together, and the next thing you know, you're starting your own business?
So not only were Renee and I working together, we were also neighbours. So we used to live on the best beach in the world, Bondi Beach in Australia, and so we used to travel to and from work together in a taxi or a car or a bus or whatever, and we would sort of talk about this really annoying pain point that we had. And Renee was spending a lot of time on a coal mine, and I was doing some iron ore mining. I wasn't physically mining, but I was helping people, as was Renee. And we were, trying to book hair and beauty appointments from a mining site. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried to book a bikini wax in front of a bunch of coal miners, but it is not a fun experience when you're doing that over the phone.
I can't even picture it.
Can you imagine? And so we would go for, without exaggeration, months without cutting our hair because we literally didn't have the opportunity to book it during business hours over the phone. And so we sort of kicked this idea around on our travels to and from work, and then we started working on the weekends, and then we became so obsessed with it that we ended up leaving our current job with the full support of the people that we'd worked with and starting Lookbooker and moving to do so.
Awesome. And so you kind of interview different salons to see which ones would fit in. Kind of how does the whole process work for that?
Yeah, so when we first had the idea for Lookbooker, we knew that booking salon appointments offline was a pain point for users because we found it painful, and all of our friends spoke about how it was painful. But we weren't really sure what the perspective of the salons would be. And this was during the polar vortex at the start of last year, so in January 2014. And with a clipboard and a piece of paper, we went around and spoke to 200 salons before we even started building the Lookbooker product to say, what is the pain point for you? How do you guys feel about taking appointments offline? And there are, in New York, 10,000 salons. In the US, there are 1.3 million salons.
So wait, there's 10,000 just here in New York alone. That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Where are they? Like, is it that big?
No, but now that we've told you, you'll see every single block in this city has a nail salon and a hair salon
That's true.
and a day
Yeah.
spa. And by the way, they're all stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, right?
The buildings, you go up to a building and you can visit two salons in the same building.
Yeah. So they're all here, hidden out in the city, and it's a $50 billion industry. It's a massive industry. And so we started speaking to salons, and they said, hey, taking appointments offline, like over the phone, is painful for us too. We, don't have a way to market ourselves. We want to reach new customers, and we don't know how to do that. And we know that, over 20% of appointments in restaurants happen online. We know that everyone books their flights and accommodation online.
Right.
We know this is coming for us. And so then we were really excited. And so we continue to, we did that initial interview when we were starting the process, and now we visit all of the salons that are on the Lookbooker platform, and we will make sure that someone from our team, and it's part of doing business with small businesses, and these people are really proud about the salons that they've built and the services they provide, and so we find a personal touch is important, and important for us to know that our users have a quality assurance.
But what was interesting about something you just said when you talked about the marketing aspect of, like these small businesses, for the most part, these people don't have the budgets to do all these, things that the larger salons would do.
Yeah.
And,
Totally.
and I'm assuming that there's probably a lot more smaller entities than there are larger
Absolutely.
ones. And so a lot of them are probably overlooked.
That's right.
And not even, it's like even when you just said about, the salon stacked on top of each other, it's like I walk the streets all the time and you kind of see it, but you don't really
think about it.
Right, until you, and I'm just like,
And people go online to search and discover. Think about the way you discover a new
right.
restaurant. You read about it online, you look at a profile, you listen to what your friends are saying, increasingly online versus offline. And for a salon, it is the internet is a scary place. Like so many of these salons are running on pen and paper.
Right.
And they're running their staff on pen and paper. And to start to market on the internet, which is going to require people to come in that they've never met, that they've never spoken to over the phone, can be a really scary thing. So something like Lookbooker, which presents the information in a really nice way, has a really great sort of support service for the salons, is a really easy and accessible way for them to start not only marketing online, but going the next step further, which is starting to receive customers directly through bookings.
it's cool.
Yeah.
And then, aside from, going to all the different salons and getting, all of them to participate, what other things did you kind of have to do to get Lookbooker started? Because I'm sure it was a huge process.
Why don't we go? Why don't we go one each? Think of something, then I'll think of something, and then...
I think we had to convince ourselves that it was, we both came from careers where we were on a trajectory to do really exciting things, and we had to say hey, do we want to, there's an opportunity cost of what we want to spend our time and dedicate ourselves to doing. And I remember one of the first conversations that Giorgia and I had when we were starting Lookbooker was how long do you want to do this for, and are you prepared to commit to this for the next 10 years? And I know that sounds so extreme, and we reflect often back on that conversation, and people are like, I didn't commit to doing anything for 10 years.
Right.
But we were if we're not excited enough to be able to dedicate the next decade at least of our lives to this, then we shouldn't be doing it. And when we were both yes, then we knew that it was right.
What else do we have to do? We had to convince a team that it was the right thing to do. So we were really lucky. We've had some, we have some fantastic people on the Lookbooker team without which literally nothing would get done. We had to convince people to invest in us. We had to convince customers to use us. We had to, get an office. We had to move countries.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a lot.
There were a lot of things going on.
Just, kind of off topic a little bit, but just, piggybacking on what you were just saying, just tell us a little bit about that process that, of trying to find a team, outsourcing a team.
Yeah.
How did you do that? And how did you get to the point where people were like, you know what, this is the bomb idea, and we want to jump on. But how did you get to that point?
Because it's such, the conversation that Renee spoke about is, am I willing to spend the next 10 years of my life doing this, and I'm willing to give up everything to do this crazy startup, is a fine commitment for us to make. But you actually ask that of everyone on your team as well, which is scary. And so the lucky thing for us, I think, is that we have been able to mobilize so many people around this great idea. So there's nothing like it that exists. They've seen it happen in doctors, they've seen it happen in the restaurants, they've seen it happen in all of these other parts of the city. They want to use it, which we have found the most effective recruiting tool is someone hold on, why doesn't that exist?
Right,
That's
right,
great. And then we have a really lateral approach to hiring. And so we find, one of our star team members, Danny, came to us as an intern from Starbucks for 6 years, and now she's a fully fledged team member, and she does marketing and operations, and she's a whiz kid, and she's gonna, run a company one day.
Wow.
Maybe Lookbooker. and we hire for intrinsics. So we make sure when people, someone pitched me a sales sort of pitch the other day for a business that they were doing, and I was like, you're great, why don't you come and interview for Lookbooker? So when we find people that are talented and the raw talent,
right,
we believe that we can teach and coach
and mold them into
exactly. And as long as someone's behind the vision, then it's easy to get someone on board.
Right.
And then how about getting people on board to use it? Kind of who's like the typical person that should use Lookbooker, and how did you get people to start trying it?
Yeah, there are so many use cases for hair and beauty and the way that people interact with the hair and beauty industry. And one of the things that was really important to us when we started Lookbooker was saying, how do we make this accessible to everyone? How do we make it so that no one feels like this isn't for me? And so one of the things that we're really proud of is that our user base is very diverse, and our different use cases for Lookbooker are really varied. 40% of our users are men, and that's something that's when we started Lookbooker, people are like, oh, this makes sense for me, or my girlfriend, but actually men get their hair cut more frequently than women, and we've been able to tap that part of the market by being incredibly conscious about how we position our brand and the type of salons that we bring on board. So the typical Lookbooker customer is very hard to describe, but I would say, people who are time poor, people who are looking for something convenient,
right.
And often people who are looking to try something new. We absolutely have people who find someone and then come back, but we also really help facilitate that search and discovery process.
So people who hate talking on the phone, like
That's
me,
us.
yeah, I do not like to call on the phone and book appointments. You're like, I'm not 100% sure if they got the date right or the time.
That's right.
Yeah,
I don't know if they heard me.
I don't know if you guys have worked in
the
open
opposite.
plan offices, but like what Renee was saying about the men, imagine booking a back facial from the trading floor of Goldman Sachs over the phone.
I never thought about that.
Neither did I until someone booked one recently.
Yeah, because there are some here. Okay, yes, that.
There you go.
Okay, so okay, we touched on the professional and the personal relationship a little bit, so we know how you guys are connecting. So how do you guys determine who handles what, and who, because
Yeah, I know.
your strengths, your weaknesses,
So we have very, very complementary strengths and weaknesses, and I would love to say that every task that gets thrown our way there's a natural owner of, but the case is more, there are so many tasks that get thrown our way that it's more like us trying to scramble around who does what. And we also both are very collaborative, so there's always one natural person that will do something,
Right.
but something rarely gets done at Lookbooker without
So-
having both of us touch it.
it was more of like a rhythm thing. It wasn't like, okay, so let's get our pad and pencil, and you're gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and this is how. It was just kind of like, we developed a rhythm.
And we did an exercise kind of 6 months into having started the business, where we sat down and said, hey, what are the 50 different types of tasks that get thrown to us, and who is the who's the owner of these,
Right.
And we were like, look, it had kind of organically already got in there in the way that we split our roles in the business, and yeah, so it's a bit more organic, though we try and make sure that for anyone who's on our team, that they always know who the go-to person is on different topic areas, and that's the most important.
Anything
part for us.
important that can't afford to be done incorrectly goes to Renee. There's always someone in a business that is responsible for doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
That is a large compliment, and not entirely fair on yourself.
True. Very true.
And then, so for people who want to use it, right now it's in New York City and Singapore.
Yeah, it's in both. In New York, which is where we have most of our focus at the moment, you can book right across Manhattan. So we're everywhere. We're up here. I walked past a few of the salons that we have on the
that's
platform
so
on my way
cool.
down here. But we are, right across Manhattan. We're the #1 aggregator here in the city. So
awesome.
literally, if you want a hair or beauty appointment done and booked, then we're your people. And the website's www.lookbooker.co.
And any plans to expand to different areas?
Oh my gosh.
Soon?
We can't wait. Not soon enough. We are desperate to get across the rest of the country as soon as possible. So the next 12 to 18 months for us is all going to be about rolling out city by city by city. And as you can imagine, there are pockets in the US that are just crying out for.
No, I can
Yeah,
imagine. I
definitely.
can imagine.
Yeah.
And since we do cover events and fashion also, we ask almost all of our people who
We
come
try
in.
to anyway.
Yes, these 3 questions. So first, do you guys have any must-have jewelry or your favorite jewelry designer or piece?
Yeah, so there is a great designer in Australia called Melissa Harris. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her.
No, but I just
She-
noticed your Hipponema.
Yeah, this is my little Brazilian shirt.
Yeah, no, because we sell this too, so that's why it
love
caught my
this.
attention.
So Melissa does a lot of sort of diamonds and the traditional. It's a very, very handcrafted, very bespoke, beautiful.
One more time, her
collection.
name is
Melissa Harris.
Melissa Harris.
Look her up,
I
guys.
will.
You'll love her, and she comes over quite a bit,
Okay.
and she's got a cult following in Australia.
Oh.
Though I would be remiss not to mention the fact that she's a relative of mine.
She's not a relative of mine, and I'm also a massive fan of her work. So
Wow. Wow. Okay, so that's your favorite designer.
Yeah.
Favorite event?
Favorite event.
That you've ever attended,
That you've
whether
ever
it's
attended
here,
that-
Australia. Yeah.
that sticks out. It's memorable. It's and give us something specific about that event that you're like, oh my gosh, they I don't know, the ice cream was just out of this world, something like
I've
that.
got mine.
Okay.
So I know Giorgia mentioned that we used to be neighbours and lived on the beautiful Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. And one morning we went down, and there's always events on the beach. And one morning we went down really early in the morning, and there was an orchestra playing on the beach. And they had, do you know which orchestra
Chamber,
it was? I think it was
ACO,
the Australian Chamber Orchestra, which was playing on the beach. And it was magic at that time of morning as the sun came up. And we were together, we grabbed a coffee. I think my boyfriend was out surfing.
It was just 6 in the morning.
Yeah, and it was just, a really surreal, magical kind of time of
Sounds
day and
like
time to
it.
spend together. Yeah.
In Australia, all good events have a nature component.
Okay.
mixed in.
I was gonna say beach,
It's like,
but okay,
nature to Australia is the rooftop to New York City.
Yeah.
Got it.
Got it.
Got it.
What's next for you guys, and what are your plans for Lookbooker?
Yeah, a lot. We have our app is coming out in September, so make sure you download it. Then we are.
You have an app coming out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. At the end of summer, and we are focused just on expanding, adding more salons to the platform, introducing Lookbooker to more users, and we're rolling out to more US cities over the course of the next 12 months. So we are heads down, focused on that with the occasional Pilates class thrown in, and that's almost it for us.
Well, it was so great to have
It
you
was
ladies
so
with us.
lovely to be here.
Thank you for taking the time. I hope that you guys will come back again sometime very soon. And we'll chat up about maybe, the new locations or,
Yeah, we'd
the
love
expansion
to.
that you guys have done.
Test out the app. Live
Oh my gosh, you guys
Oh my
must.
gosh.
I'm gonna.
That
would
would
be
be amazing. And we can do like a whole technical, and we promise to get it right this time.
We'll be on hand.
So thank you again.
Thanks, guys, for having us.